Hi there, this is Usha Pandit, your Mindsprings English teacher. Today I am going to do the third part of the pre-primary series. Today we are going to quickly recap what we said the last time, which was that the child needs to have a partnership between the home and the school. And we said why. It's because of the time constraint that there is in schools where giving experiences and ideas are concerned. So it needs to be a partnership. If you do not understand this fully, please take a look at the video that I made the last time, and I have explained it in detail. So one is that, the partnership. Secondly, we said that there is a lot of time wasted in the classroom. The little time that they have is wasted in the activities of reading and writing, in trying to make the child ready for grade 1. But because children are not going to be brain ready before the age of 7, at least a lot of them are not going to be ready. If you ask a grade 2 teacher, she will tell you that there are 20% of the children. A grade 1 teacher will tell you 50% of the children cannot read and write, although we have spent 3 years trying to make them achieve or acquire those skills. So when there is a massive amount of time being spent in the school in literacy, what you will get is children who are neither good at reading and writing as literacy skills, and then you have wasted time, so they have no ideas, they have no thoughts, there is no imagination. So there is a huge backlog of wonderful things that need to happen in those most fertile years from 3 to 5 or 6. So let us see what we can do. So I am going to take you through some very basic questions. What happens is, when you tell people that you're going to do science with the little ones, or you're going to do STEM and you're going to do some kind of engineering with them, people are shocked, because traditionally we have been used to doing ABC and 1 to 20 forever in the primary classes, so they cannot imagine how you would do science. Now science is about discovery, science is about exploration, science is about experimentation. And there is absolutely no reason why a little child cannot enjoy those activities, provided they are simple, they are safe, and they are exciting. So let me take you through some of the very quick ones that I can remember on my fingertips. How does the sky change color? If you ask them, does the sky change color? Yes. And if it changes color, what does it indicate? It indicates day and night. Now this is a commonsensical question. So if you're going to teach day and night, you do not have to go through the whole rigmarole of getting a globe and a light and doing all sorts of things that you would do in a higher class. You just need to keep it basic and simple to common observations that the child is fully capable of. What you're doing is giving him or her a label. That's all that you're doing. So that's easy to do. And if I ask you, how many ducks can you see? And you say 6, you count 6 on a picture, and then how many dogs, and then you count 2. If I ask you which one is more, children are highly intelligent, they are not incapable of telling you 4. That is the difference. That is so much better than making them write a 4 25 times. So therefore, we need to get their reckoning skills going rather than getting their writing skills going. If you look at what ifs, and if you say, what if you could grow burgers and ice creams on trees? Now you will find all their eyes lighting up at the thought, and you can actually progress that to what are natural foods and what are man-made foods. So it's a quick discussion. They realize that foods on the plate come from nature, and some of them come from being processed in a factory. So that's good information, and I think at 3 that's fantastic information. It should arouse a curiosity where the child starts looking at every food and asking himself, is that natural or has it been man-made? And we have achieved a lot if that happens. If you sing the alphabet song every single day, the child will learn the alphabet. You don't have to walk the child through 26, 27 weeks of detailed alphabet learning with stories and songs and all sorts of linear learning, so that the forgetting cycle constantly makes him forget what he did last week or 3 weeks back. So just sing the alphabet song. It's a 1-minute investment and children will, it's a fail-proof way of ensuring that children pick up the alphabet. So you've got that. Anything that is repetitive is going to be learnt very quickly, and what better than rhymes and singing, because they're naturals at that. They love singing, they love repetitive rhymes. Use that for certain learning experiences. Instead of just singing songs which have no meaning, try and infuse some of those big learning items that you are struggling with into songs, and you've got it. If you are looking at a calendar, the child can count how many Sundays there are or Mondays there are, and that's a lot of fun for a child. For you and me it might look like a boring task, but for them they're doing something very adult, and that gives them a lot of satisfaction. If you say what are the machines you have at home, it allows them to run around and check out the machines, and that's exactly what you want. Now that could be a homework that you give your children, instead of again making them write a cat or a bat or something in double lines for 3 times, or answering a question. That sort of learning is really downpulling. You take a mirror. Now look at science. You take a mirror without a rim and you keep it right there at the center, and then you look into a big mirror. You'll be able to see a reflection of your face that gets completed by symmetry. It's very interesting how funny you look. If you had 2 symmetrical sides of your face, you would look very strange. So they are not symmetrical. Now that's such a fun thing to do, and all it needs is 2 mirrors. I would do it at home if you think that breaking mirrors in schools are not safe with 20 children running around. That's why I said it's a partnership. Create stuff where you are looking at one child and you are able to take care of his safety at home, and then look at 20 children and see what the strength is in peer contributions. They can always bring back their ideas and share in the classroom the next day. If you tell them wriggle like a worm, they'll all be very happy to go down on the floor and wriggle like a worm, or scuttle like a crab, or hop like a frog. They'll do all of it. They'll enjoy it, and bodily movements or kinesthetic movements are making sure that they understand the words wriggle and scuttle. You can teach them anything you want under the sun if you make them act it out, or if you make them sing it out. So these are some basic fundamentals that I want to talk to you about as far as the learning of children goes. Now you can't say this is not learning, reading and writing is learning. That's an extremely short-sighted way of looking at learning, because reading and writing is going to be acquired by the child no matter what. If you introduce the letter P to him, when he's 3, he's going to take 25 minutes to write a line. If you introduce P to him when he is in grade 1, he is not going to take more than maybe a minute to write it. So he is going to learn, even if you don't ever touch the alphabet, he's still going to be able to do it when he's older with a lot of ideas in his head. But we are not asking you to not introduce the alphabet or reading or writing. We're just asking you to cut it down and make it more wholesome. Find it here and there as you're telling them stories, as you're singing songs. They're going to find these things all along, and there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that if they do art and squiggles, they will learn to write, because they're all about formations, right? All this now, if this content overwhelms you, this content is really like, you're like, how can I think of all these things? This is one of the reasons why I produced a curriculum this year called the Magic Box. The Magic Box comes in 8 books, which is the entire curriculum. And what does it have? It has got English vocabulary. So it's got a vocabulary and literacy book that's mainly about learning words meaningfully, not just chanting them out. And then we've got a phonics sight and rhyme reader, which is all about learning sight words through rhyming poems, which are funny, which can be acted out, and it's a lot of fun. We have numeracy and a logic program, which is all about looking at math in life, not just in the form of numbers that you read and write. You're looking at environment, culture and science, which is a total book, which will have a whole bunch of experimental activities that are going to be great fun for children. You're looking at alphabet talking tales. This is a fantastic book. In fact, if you take the pictures, I've actually created an entire curriculum out of that pictures for you in terms of using maths and science and numbers and sentences and the whole bunch. So that's a great one that children can do because they are pictorial learners at the end. And if you don't give them pictures to learn, except pictures that you illustrate books with, it's not quite enough. You have an art and construction book, and what you need to remember is there is a lot of science sitting in art and there is a lot of math sitting in art. So if you are able to do some of the work in art, it must then develop into a greater understanding of balance and of symmetry and of reflection and a whole bunch of other things, which is not heavy duty science, mind you. It's just experiencing science through art. You have stories for critical thinking. Critical thinking is very important, where you call upon children to assess, to evaluate, to think about other ways of doing the same thing, to ask whether it was right or wrong and ethical. So these are the cause and effect of things. These are some of those things that are absolutely necessary to grow their cognitive intellect and to make them better thinkers. So the government, with the National Education Policy of 2019, will put critical thinking as one of their forerunners. But if you don't know how to go about critical thinking, then the books will help you. A series of just 5 stories in a year across the year will help children to become excellent critical thinkers. And finally, you have oral activities. At the end of the day, most people send their children to school so that they can speak in English. And if we do not have an oral curriculum for children, a very serious oral curriculum for children, they are not going to be speakers. And in most schools, they are not speakers when they enter grade 1. They have grammatically shaky, wobbly sentence structures. They are not able to download vocabulary very quickly. So we haven't really delivered the oral curriculum as we should, which was the initial and most fundamental mandate of those parents who sent them to school, where they wanted their children to speak in English. So I think an oral activities book is absolutely essential. So these 8 books are to be done in partnership, as I said, with the parent and with the school, because time is of the essence. If the teacher had the child for 6 hours or 5 hours, a regular full school day, I wouldn't say this to you. But if you do not do it this way, the person who gets shortchanged is that little kid, and he is your kid. He does not belong to the school. He belongs to the parents. So it is important for parents to take an active role, not to do things that are, in fact, homework which has got reading and writing is far more taxing on parents than children and parents pottering around the kitchen and maybe making popcorn and wondering how the corn becomes popcorn and then eating it. I would say that's the kind of childhood we need to give our children. We need to make sure they have a great childhood. So, if you are interested in getting this brochure, write to us at orders@mindsprings.in and we will send one to you. Do subscribe to our channel, make sure you press the bell notification and give us your comments on what I have said. We need to create a revolution in the whole pre-primary learning because we owe our children that. So till we meet again, keep smiling and enjoy your kids. Thank you.